the National Development Council is here to help. And the training series that you're going to hear about today is a game changer, can be a game changer, not only for your organization, but also for you as a professional in this industry. Providing this training has also been somewhat of a game changer for NACEDA. We've been able to partner with some amazing organizations, effective and high-capacity organizations to offer this training. Those partners being BB&T Bank, we'll hear from Janice in a second, obviously the National Development Council, NDC, as well as our member organizations in the Mid-Atlantic. NACEDA is an alliance of 44 state and regional associations for affordable housing and community development, 4 of them in the U.S. and 28 states and D.C. 4 of them have partnered together to offer this for you. The Community Development Network of Maryland, the Housing Alliance of Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Association of CDCs, as well as the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. So thanks, everyone. I'm really excited that you're taking part in this to better accomplish your mission. With that, I will pass it off to Janice Williams, located in Baltimore, Maryland. Janice's capacity at BB&T involves community reinvestment, business development, relationship management, and of course, fair lending. Janice, I pass it to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. One thing I would like to say in the beginning, BB&T is so proud of the work that you guys are doing in this marketplace, and we really appreciate the fact that we are stepping up and being a sponsor of such a wonderful opportunity for the professionals in this marketplace in housing and community development to be able to take advantage of these series of courses that will enhance their careers and make a really, really meaningful impact into the communities that we serve. We appreciate your confidence in us and the sponsorship opportunity that we were allowed to do, and we really, truly think that taking these courses will be able to enhance your leadership in many of the roles in community development, finance, as well as all the certification. You know, we look at the homeownership, we look at community development lending, and we look at those areas. I think that you will find the classes very rewarding, and we really at BB&T really we're just so excited about the opportunity to sponsor this series of events and classes. And I thank you again for us being on the call. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Janice. And with that, I believe we're going to pass it off to Tom Jackson now, Director of Training at the National Development Council. Tom is very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable, as you'll find out, so don't hesitate to ask questions, again, using the chat feature in on the side of your screen. Tom, take us away.
Thanks, Frank. Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I think most of us are in the Eastern time zone, so you've given up your lunch hour, and I really appreciate that to give us a chance to orient you to this great opportunity that both Frank and Janet, as well as Joyce, have identified. I want to say that we've worked with BB&T to build capacity in community development corporations and their partners in BB&T's footprint for coming on 2 decades now. And it's always been a joy for me to participate in one of their classes, whether it's Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, West Virginia. They've gotten us all over the place. And I really think you all have picked up a wonderful partner as BB&T has moved into your footprint. They really believe in investing in capacity building for organizations so that they can meet their goals, meet their mission, and have really meaningful impacts on their communities, the regions. And I think folks, Frank especially hinted at this, it doesn't only build your community and your community impacts, but it really, this kind of training, this very nuts and bolts orientation and skill building and skill mastery and development finance definitely will build your organization and individually your careers. So we look in all of our training to deliver impacts on all 3 of those fronts, and I think you'll join tens of thousands of other students in agreeing that the training can have that impact. on your community, your organization, and your career. That's about all I'm going to say today, because I'm going to pass off to one of our most skilled housing development finance instructors, Karen Garrettson. Karen is one of the few people in our organization who teaches all of our 4 certification courses in housing development finance. And she's going to walk through a short presentation to talk about the content, the goals of each one of the courses, and the overall goal of the series. I guess before I hand it off to Karen, I thank BB&T in a very big way. I do also want to thank NACEDA and its members in Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for partnering on this training series. And we've done wonderful training for years with NACEDA affiliates, and really looking forward to moving this series forward as well. So with that, Karen, it's your show.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. I join Tom in thanking you for taking your lunch hour to walk through the slides that we have in this series. And, okay, sorry about that. I was having trouble getting my arrow to work there. So let's start with just an overview of what is in the series, and then we'll sort of talk through course by course what we cover and what the expectations are in general, as we try to really maintain a high integrity with not just the entire series, but sort of course by course, because if you can't actually get the impact that the others were referring to, then it's not really worth attending the training. So the series and the courses are pretty demanding to really make sure that everybody gets the maximum out of them that we possibly can. So NDC's Housing Development and Finance Professional Certification Program, otherwise known as HDFP certification, is a 4-course training program that explores really a wide range of topics, but all really circling back to what is needed to really put together a project that is successful programmatically and also financially. So within the series, we cover things like the development process, how to do financial analysis, how to structure a deal, and possibly most importantly in the last class, we talk about negotiating skills, because housing doesn't exist apart from people, and people don't exist apart from opinions. So that's, as most of you know from working in housing, a lot of the challenges are around bringing people to the table and getting them to partner with you and getting fabulous things done. So each class utilizes a combination of lecture and case studies to get across the specific points that are covered in the lecture. And all of the case studies are based on actual deals that NDC has been involved in, and or which our staff providing technical assistance has helped to structure and implement as we partner with our communities to try to get their housing goals accomplished. So, sorry about that. I keep clicking the wrong place to change the slides. So, the things that we cover in the overall series, like I said, includes understanding the housing development process. And when we talk about financial analysis techniques, we're really talking about understanding all the aspects that go into financing a project. So how do you figure out how much money you can borrow? If you can't borrow very much money, where do you come up with other sources? How do those different sources intertwine successfully or not so successfully? So we really help you to try to figure out all those different components, and then not just what the components look like individually, but how they actually mesh together into putting together a successful deal structure, which is that third bullet point there. And then, as I said, negotiating skills, that's really sort of the human element, and understanding how what the project you have on the ground looks like really relates to whether people can get the kind of buy-in that's needed to move the project forward. So people who want to get the HDFP certification have to complete all 4 courses and pass the test that is at the end of each individual course. The tests are done on the final day of each class. So let's start by talking through the individual classes. The first 2 classes can be taken in either order. They're the 410, which deals with for sale housing, and then the 420 deals with rental housing. You can take those in either order, but then those 2 classes serve as the basis and are prerequisites for the 3rd and 4th class.
Right. And
so, yes.
It's Tom. I'd just say I know Frank is going to rejoin us in a bit here to talk about the actual schedule for the courses. So for this particular series, 410 will be coming before 420, but we'll get to that later, folks.
Okay. So the 410 is the class that deals with structuring deals where you're going to have for sale housing. And we cover a wide range of topics within this. So once again, how these projects get developed and financed, but then the added dimension of qualifying home buyers, which of course, as everybody knows, with the economic downturn and the housing crisis, we had a lot of lenders who were using different parameters for qualifying buyers, or in some cases none at all. And so we really get into that piece of it. That's a special and unique aspect of the 410 class, because we do know that it's not just a matter of building the buildings. It's a matter of having real-life families be successful in those homeownership opportunities. And so we do spend a good deal of time on how to qualify buyers, and then what the issues are around income and credit problems for buyers, including various mortgage programs. So in this class, like I said, we'll really start you all the way through from the beginning, trying to look at what is the market in your area, what types of homes do people want, how do the types of homes that people want relate to income levels, what the costs can be, what the value of those homes would be, and then again, not just the process for getting those homes built, but getting them successfully sold to people who can live in them and have them be the platform for their lives, as Frank was saying. So the overall goals that we're working on here, like I said, don't only revolve around the ownership families, but for nonprofits who are undertaking the construction, the development and construction of for sale homes, we want to make sure that those projects are really financially viable and that the projects leave the project sponsor in a better financial position than they were before they started. In other words, that you get paid for your time and energy that it takes to do these deals. And so we're really looking at the trifecta of benefit coming out of this class. So you're not only delivering homeownership units to your communities and neighborhoods that are aligned with the goals and the markets of those neighborhoods, but you're helping to improve your organization's financial position. And then, as Tom had mentioned earlier, you may have the goal of learning how to do a wide range of things that can really help you move forward in your career in a way that might be different without this level of skill. So let's talk for a minute about the 420 class. This is where we really dig into rental housing, finance. And so we're really here taking a detailed look at analyzing and financing affordable rentals. This is a 5-day course. I typically feel like this is one of our more intense classes of all that we teach. It is absolutely jam-packed with information, but all of the information is really designed for one topic to flow neatly into the next topic and build one concept on top of the other. So it is really important, I will say, for all of these classes that it's difficult if you can't attend all the days of the class, because each concept really does build on what comes before, and that is how we really provide the intense level of information that you need to really be successful going forward. So in this class, we're really looking at the underwriting criteria that's used by lenders, how private equity investors figure out their return on investment and whether they would make an investment. And we're really trying to help you understand how you can attract not only the maximum amount of private capital to your project, but attract it in such a way that once again you really have a successful project, not one that will be a drain on your organization going forward, but one that really helps to create vitality not only for the residents in the rental housing, but for your organization as a whole. So in this class we also covered the development process, understanding financial projections, understanding what private sector is looking for as they bring either debt or equity into a deal. We help you to understand the role of appraisals and what appraisals are all about. For low-income housing, for low-income rental housing, of course, tax credits are our primary way of creating affordable rental housing right now, so we really dig in deep on that topic. Understanding discounted cash flow analysis, which if you're not sure what that means, come to the class and we'll talk it through. We cover syndication, which is the process of basically selling tax credits in the open market in exchange for cash for your project. And then again, once again, the deal structuring aspect is really, really critical to make sure that you have all of the pieces aligned in the way that the project has the best possible opportunity for success. So again, kind of the goals in offering the class or taking the class is that you'll be able to deliver rental units to your communities that are both marketable and affordable, that you'll be able to improve the viability of the projects on an individual basis and your organizations as a whole, so that you're well positioned to continue to provide benefit going forward. And once again, the whole idea of career advancement, that you really, by taking the class and understanding how these things work, you're just really building your skill set as a great community development professional. Okay, the third class in the series, known as 422, is our computer spreadsheet analysis class. And in this course, you're given a spreadsheet template that we learn, and then we work with you to understand how the spreadsheet can really help you to understand and interpret your data and help you be able to do really a sensitivity analysis on what you're projecting, because utilizing spreadsheets and Excel is really not an exercise in data entry. The term garbage in, garbage out really does apply, and so we're trying to help you to understand not just what the numbers mean, but how you can use the spreadsheet to change various parameters from what you are projecting to see what kind of impact that makes. Like, for instance, what happens if interest rates go up? Or what happens if you change your unit mix from all 2 bedrooms to 2s and 3s? So you can really play around with it and really learn how to use the spreadsheets to enhance the analysis and actually the programming for the project that you're moving forward. In this class, we cover spreadsheets for both homeownership and for rental housing, which are significantly different. And then also we get a chance to, at a computer level, take a look at debt and equity calculations. So the fourth class in the series is known as 430, and this is where we really get into problem solving and deal structuring. So in the third class, we learn how to use the tool of the spreadsheet to do sensitivity analyses. And then we graduate on in the fourth class to really having a set of case studies that present real-world problems. And you know, it's like anything else. For every problem, there are a million ways that you could potentially solve it. So it's not just finding an answer, but it's a matter of finding the best answer and utilizing the spreadsheets to help you figure that out, run a variety of scenarios, and really get to the best structure that you possibly can for your project. And then interwoven with the use of these tools that help us with the financial analysis, this is where we really get into the negotiating aspect of it, factoring in the human component, what makes people motivated to be involved or not be involved, and understanding, you know, if you're a banker, really what is a banker looking for? If they are saying they don't want to be involved, but you need them to be involved, really helping to sift through and figure out, well, why are they resistant? What is it really that they're looking at? And then bringing all of our tools to bear in terms of figuring out the best strategy for getting our partners firmly in place while maintaining the best possible structure for the deal. And again, when I say the deal, the best possible structure for the deal, what I mean is not only the most successful project for the residents, but a project that is simultaneously successful for the residents and for the organization that is sponsoring it. So with that said, I think that is my last slide, and I think I am now to turn it back to Frank unless there are any questions on this part of it. I don't see any in the chat box. But maybe we can take a second in case there's somebody who's been waiting to the end.
This is Joyce. If someone has a question or a comment, please do *7 to unmute yourself. Again, it's *7 to unmute.
Hi, and this is Tom. When I was introducing Karen, I neglected to say something that's very important about NDC training, and that's that all of our courses are taught by NDC employees who are actually out in the fields doing deals, either as technical assistance providers or working with some of our financial products, new market tax credits, low-income housing tax credits, on down the line. Karen's a really wonderful example of that, somebody who came out of nonprofit housing development, has worked as the director of a large family foundation that supported affordable housing and other initiatives. And then since she's been with NDC, has worked across the center of the country in technical assistance to communities and to nonprofits. As a new markets tax credit underwriter for us, and also as a affordable housing tax credit acquisitions manager and underwriter. So she brings a real wealth of knowledge to the classroom, and the other folks that you'll run into in this series have similarly, that's always a hard word to say, spectacular backgrounds, and we think they bring a lot of real-world experience and up-to-date knowledge of what's happening out in the country to each class.
Thank you, Tom, for that glowing endorsement.
You're welcome. Now we can get back to any questions, or Frank, maybe you could go ahead and take it away.
Sure. I'm going to pause for a 3 count for anyone to jump in with questions before we get into logistics. Okay. Karen, if I could ask you to help me advance the slides. I am unfamiliar with how to do this. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to wrap us up here by going over the logistics, the when, the what, and the where, as well as the registration process, because that is not necessarily intuitive. But as you see here, the first class that Tom mentioned, HD 410 on home ownership, is coming up this April. It's important to note that these trainings will vary from 4 to 5 to 3 days, and all this information is on NACEDA's website too, so I'll give that address in a second, so you don't necessarily need to write this down. The locations for all the trainings are rotating in the greater Trenton, Baltimore, Philadelphia area. The first one is a little bit outside of Trenton, HD 410 home ownership. The second one coming up this fall is set for September 26th through 30th. It's a 5-day training. It is going to be in Philadelphia. We have not chosen the exact location in Philadelphia where that will be located, but that should be coming soon. We are narrowing that down. Keep in mind, I'm going to reemphasize, because this was not intuitive to me when I first learned about the series, that these two are prerequisites, as has been said before. So before you can advance to the next 2 classes, these 2 do have to be taken at some point, not necessarily in this series, in these 2 specific classes, but they do have to be taken at some point. So once those 2 prerequisites have been met, we have the dates set for 2017, the spreadsheet analysis in April of 2017, and the deal structuring and problem solving in October of 2017. And you notice the cities we are rotating again in the greater Mid-Atlantic area. Next slide, please, Karen. Thank you. Now, the pricing structure for the classes is not necessarily intuitive. Because of the support of BB&T, we're able to offer steep discounts to members of these 4 associations, the 4 associations that I mentioned earlier in the call. This is a really steep discount, and we're able to do it with the help of BB&T, which is great. Unfortunately, outside of these 4 associations, if you are not a member of these 4 associations, the price will be $12.50 per class, so $12.50 times 4 would be the total cost of registration. If you register for all 4 with us, which can be done on our website, you will get a $1,000 discount off of the last class. This is a pretty steep discount where we are excited to offer it. If you are not a member of these 4 associations but would like to become a member of one of these 4 associations, I think we're not providing the links here, but the links are on NACEDA's website to their websites, and obviously Google Works as well. Again, this reinforces the full registration is $1,250, $1,250 per week of class or per class, and we get a $1,000 discount if you register for all 4. And registration for this series, the fee includes obviously the content and materials for the class. Pointing out that you obviously have to bring your own laptop with Excel capability, but other than that, it includes content and materials, includes lunch each day of class, and we are hoping to gather everyone together for dinner once during each of the 4 classes. Our membership director, Jeremy Brownlee, his contact information is here. if you have any questions. You can think of NACEDA as kind of the backbone of this training series. We brought together the partners. We're collecting the registration. All the information's on our website. So if you have any questions regarding the kind of mechanics of it, come to us. We can maybe help with content of if you have content-related questions. But if we're not able to answer it, we can refer you to NDC. And the URL for the information that was presented here in terms of logistics is on our website, and it's at the bottom of your screen. I think that's all. We'll leave the line open now for any questions, I believe.
The conference has been unmuted.
I have one question.
Please, we can hear you.
What value do these courses have in terms of college credits? Are these organization accredited?
Actually, NDC training, we work with folks if you've got a local accreditation that you want to pursue to provide agenda, content, information that can back up your request for continuing education. We're already pre-certified for the American Planning Association. All of our courses are approved for credits there. And it's been very common that folks have been able to get continuing legal education, CEUs for their CPA, IEDC routinely uses our training for accreditation. So again, we'll work with anybody who has other accreditation needs to support you in making that application.
Are there other questions? I know we have Jeremy's contact information on the screen. We will be sending out the PowerPoint presentation after the webinar. So.
And I will say that our website's about to switch domains here in the next week or so, hopefully nobody will have any trouble connecting. But if you do want more information on any of the courses, either feel free to look at the new domain is ndconline.org. The old one will be redirected, nationaldevelopmentcouncil.org. Or just reach out to Karen or me if you have any questions, and we'll be glad to get back to you. I will say, and Frank stressed this, that there is at times a desire by folks who aren't currently working in homeownership to try to get out of having to do the HD 410. I think I'd urge you all to look at the future, that you might not be doing single-family homeownership today, whether it's condo development or freestanding units, but you might be tomorrow. That market certainly is changing rapidly here over the last number of years, and so to get through to the final two courses, as Frank mentioned, we do need everybody to have both 410 and 420.
And this is Joyce from the Housing Alliance. I just wanted to make one final comment. The Housing Alliance over 2014-2015 presented the NDC Housing Development Certification Program in Pittsburgh, the 4 courses, and the people in our coalition and people who availed themselves of the training really found it to be a game changer, really up their ante. And we have a gentleman who's on our board. He runs a housing authority in Columbia County, Housing Redevelopment Authority, and what he reported to us is he went back to work and started using some of the tools that he learned in the course. So I can't state strongly enough how really fantastic it's been for the people in Pennsylvania in the western part of the state to avail themselves. So we're really excited that BB&T is doing this, and NACEDA for all their support in making this happen. So really great opportunity.
Sorry, one question. What is the structure of the exams at the end of each of the courses?
This is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
No, that's.
This is Karen. So the exams largely follow our case study format. So it's not like multiple choice or anything like that. You're given a scenario and asked to use the tools that you were exposed to in the class to figure out issues related to that real-life scenario. So that said, there are a variety of questions for which the answer is a number. But there are also a variety of questions that are more of an essay nature where you're asked to interpret what you found out and then express an opinion based on your analysis. So, but it is not multiple choice. Is that what you were, is there a follow-up question?
No, I think that gives me a general idea. Thank you.
Okay.
Each test does have a retest option. If if anybody doesn't make it through the initial test, part of the series is that we also administer a retest, and none of the tests are in any way set up to make people feel like they're not succeeding. We want people to succeed, but they're really looking to measure the skills, the mastery of the skills that we're trying to teach in the courses and through the casework exercises. And I think they do a good job of matching up with what's taught and still leaving some room for the students to explore creativity, especially in the later courses, in options for structuring a successful deal.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, we will sign off for the day. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and thanks for participating.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.